Canadians on this thing.
Oh, it's 30. It's
William Shatner's
35.57.
Canadian. It's okay.
Okay.
Oh,
All
35,
right.
good, thanks.
Yeah,
35.
it's high.
Fantastic.
Lot of
35,
lot of
magic
nosebleeds.
number. We are live. Welcome everyone to our daily
John.
success call for Monday, the 16th of August, 2021. John Lavetti here with you, as always, ready for another thrilling week with some of my favorite people on the planet, including and especially Anne and Sharna and Missy and Jen. There's Liana. Hello. There's Michael, Catherine. Hey, Mark. There's DL with his Bugatti. I see Sammy and Kimberly. Rachel, good to see you as always. Pauline and Sarah's here with the pink dancing queen. Yes, there she is. Alyssa, two Alyssas are here. Wow, both of them. Welcome. And there's Jay and Sarah and more people who aren't on camera yet but are tuning in. Welcome to all of you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have a fun little brief meeting here today because we got a lot going on. I heard some of you kibitzing before I got on here. You got lots of stuff going on in your world as well. I do want to acknowledge some of our people who have just over the weekend made their first sales. So congratulations. That is awesome. This is just the beginning. I know a lot of times when we're new at something, even though there's plenty of examples of others who have come before you who are, have gotten very pleasing results, right? It's still nice to prove to ourselves that we can do this, right? So there's proof of concept, but does it work for me, right? And so there's sometimes some doubt in the beginning whenever somebody's engaging in some new endeavor. And so it's good that you guys are just pushing through, getting it done. And once again, this is just the beginning. I have also some communication that went back and forth between me and one of our coaches, e-commerce coaches, not philosophy coaches, but they said that they are working on stuff as it relates to what Missy, you were talking about, and Jan was talking about last week. There's communications going back and forth, and there's workarounds and stuff happening. So just so you know, you are heard. And, as is the case with any growing pains in business, there's going to be things that need to be handled. So thank you for all your diligence in that, and just know that you're not alone, which of course is why we do all of this, right? The idea that we're going to take this on as just a solopreneur, even though you may be, right? It may be just you, no employees, and very little overhead, very little risk, very little outlay of money, but still a major outlay of attention. Okay, if you're doing that, if you're doing this on your own and putting all your attention in, then there should also be some acknowledgement that you've got other people that have your back or who are on purpose alongside of you. I've often said this is actually part of my pay, right? Just for living, just for being here and doing the John thing, right? Is that we get to work cooperatively with other on purpose people. I think that is huge. And in addition to the money that you can make here, right? There's other things that you're hopefully feeling like you're getting paid right now because, well, I'll tell you what, guys, and I'm not saying this to boast, but there are people who pay me $1,000 an hour to counsel with them. And I'm here hanging out with you guys right now. So I'm thinking there's some stuff that we can leverage, not just from your own personal experience, which may be new here, okay, but from the collective experience of people who have been not only engaged in entrepreneurship, and we've got a lot of very competent business owners here, okay, from other fields. Lots of different roads have led to this one, but also in terms of collective experience in just life and living and like being, let me say it this way, being bigger than our circumstances, being bigger than just the problems that we have to solve in any endeavor, right? There's nothing unique about this method. It's the only one that has things to overcome and whatever. No, any worthy endeavor is going to have problems to solve. The point is that we can get past them much more readily when we are recognizing that we're in fact not doing it alone. So what I wanted to get into today, just a little bit, if it pleases the group, is something light and I think a nice way to start our week. And that is, well, this might not sound light to you, but resilience. resilience. It's a topic that we can go back to again and again and from many different angles. But the idea, like I just started, citing a few wins. And in fact, I know Rachel's on here. Rachel prompted us very adroitly last week. Hey, does anyone have some wins to share? Because we had we were solving problems on Friday, and or attempting to. And so thank you, Rachel, for that. But we've got some wins, and those came through resilience. Okay, a lot of times when I'm working with new people, a lot of times they are hoping for a quick result and a very predictable one. So if I can just go ahead and do A, B, and C, and very predictably make this much money, well, that would be kind of like a salaried job situation. That doesn't require a whole lot of creativity, let's say, on the part of the person who's just saying, you know what, I'm going to go and flip the hamburgers. It's very predictable. And I do A, B, and C, and then I get this much money for how much time I exchanged for that money, hopefully doing work competently enough to not get fired or whatever. That's pretty predictable, pretty linear. Okay, but what we're looking for here, I want you to think about this. We're looking for a leveraged income. Okay, and I know a lot of people use the word a residual or passive income. That can certainly come as well, especially when you start putting money to work in ways that you yourself don't have to show up, and actually pull the levers or whatever to get paid, right? So money can work for you as well. But at the outset, what we're actually looking for is a leveraged income. We're looking to get out more in cash value than we're putting in terms of, let's say, effort, like personal effort. There's a big departure from people who've been in the workaday world for years, decades, a lifetime, where you've got a linear income, okay, which seems more like the math is easier, right? Hours for dollars and that sort of thing, or billable hours, right? That's linear, okay? But when we talk about leverage, we're talking about getting out more than we put in. Now, there is a concept, it's called getting paid while you sleep, or making money while you sleep. I heard somebody say, yeah, that guy works on the internet, he makes money while he sleeps. And then the punchline is, yeah, because he worked 18 hours a day and then he fell asleep with his head on the keyboard and then a sale happened to come in. So he did make money while he slept with his face on the keyboard, right? So that's not what we're looking for. At the outset, there may be, back to the idea of resilience, there may be a bit more going in than comes out. Of course, the moment you start any new endeavor, you're going to have to hit the throttle, right? We're going to have to get some momentum going here, get off of the inertia. And so that's not, you don't have leverage at the outset. Another way to get leveraged income is to do like Robert Kiyosaki talks about in the Cash Flow Quadrant, which is one of the books that I recommended for you all, where he talks about the different quadrants, the 4 different approaches that people have to making money and surviving and whatever. So employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. So employee, obviously, we already understand what that is. Self-employed, okay, that's a big jump. That's a big jump. And as a entrepreneur, as a solopreneur, that's usually the first step, right? Leverage comes with being a business owner or a bigger business owner, where now you don't show up and do all the things. You pay people to do that, and you're getting a leveraged income because you don't have to show up. The other people who are hopefully better at that task than you are showing up, and they're doing it, and they're being paid to do so. And then the investor, well, now that's truly passive. Right now, we don't have our hands in it at all. In fact, I'm not even the decision maker anymore. There's Monique. Monique, you're awesome. You're competent. Here, have some money. Go be awesome and go grow my investment. Right. So that would be a passive income situation. Obviously, you've got to have money to make money in that sort of a situation. And hopefully you've identified competent people and enterprises to invest in. But back to the point of you getting leverage. It's bridging between, let's say, the employee or employee mindset into a business owner mindset. Fortunately for everyone here, even though you could be classified as the self-employed quadrant as you do this, you can find ways as you start having these little wins, like people are starting to have, right? You can find ways to scale that up. In fact, talking with Adam, our head coach in Low Hanging System, he found ways to create leverage of his own time to get so much more output in so much less time. Now you think about that, the more you outflow, the more you put out value into the marketplace, the more you inflow, the more current and currency comes your way, right? The more people you're benefiting in whatever unit of time we're talking about. So here's this much benefit going out in some arbitrary amount of time. And so here's the recompense for that. Here's the, the tide coming back in that same arbitrary amount of time. So we can leverage this stuff. This is where I'm going with this. But, and it's a big but, okay? If we're engaging in a leveraged income scenario, if we're looking to get out more than we put in terms of hours invested, and knowing that we're going to create, some spectacular results here, there is also what we could call, I don't know if sacrifice is the right word, but at the outset, we're going to have to be willing to be resilient and get a little bit unreasonable with ourselves and really hit that throttle hard. Okay, you don't just waltz right in. And despite the fact that some people, on the internet, there's all these sales pitches about, instant riches and click the easy button and you don't have to do anything. Our system does everything for you. That's not real, by the way, in case you're looking for such things. Beware of shiny object syndrome. There's always going to be some shiny object to distract you. But there are some methods that are more accessible than others. And you've certainly got one. Here, I could tell you all kinds of horror stories, if you're interested, about other methods. And they're horrible, and people buy them. Hell, people buy franchises for $500,000. Like, that's a good deal. Okay. That's the deal. You want to work 80 hours a week and take 2 years to hopefully break even and come home smelling like pickles and onions every day. Be my guest, right? That's there for you, or not, right? I argue that this is a more accessible approach, which is beautiful. But again, that doesn't mean just because, let's say that you put in, little money and low risk and whatever, that doesn't mean that you don't treat it like you just put $1 million on the table. There's the trick. Okay, so if we want what I would call an unreasonably good result, okay, we've been reasonable up to this point, let's say in our lives, we've been trading hours for dollars, we've been linear and reasonable. Okay, so we're about to get unreasonable here. Well, if we want an unreasonably good result, in other words, if we're going to reach beyond what we already know and we're going to start seeking leverage in our lives, okay, well, we're also going to have to be willing to be unreasonable with ourselves a little bit and get a little bit resilient, right? And understand that, it's not always a walk in the park. Look, if success was easy, it would be mediocrity. Everybody would do it. So, and I'm not saying this, let's say you're 1 hour in the business and you're like, my goodness, I'm on my first daily success call here. And John's scaring me here. John's scaring me. No, I'm just being a bit real with you because the reward is worth it. Here's the punchline for all of this. You being resilient, you getting unreasonable, you getting out of your own way in many cases, and stop relying on just your own best thinking, which only got you this far, but not further. You willing to go that extra mile, and because you've got a reason to, right? You've got a big tasty carrot hanging in front of your face. You got a goal. You got a reason to. Okay, good. Well, that right there makes the whole thing worth it. And yes, the rewards are real. I know, look, I've talked to almost every single person on this call right now, on this broadcast. Okay, unless you're on YouTube and watching this as the public, welcome. We're glad you're here as well. But I'm just looking at some of the names here. There's Pauline, Ofer, right? Of course, Missy, Michael's here, Lou, Linda, hey, Johnny, right? Jen's here. Hey, right? So look at all these awesome people, right? There's DL, David. Hi, Carissa, right? Britton's here. So we've got all these people who we've had, let's say, in our welcome session, right? One of the things that I, as time permits, that I like to ask people is, what do you want, right? Well, like, where are you at now? And most importantly, where are you looking to go? Because, well, the past doesn't equal the future. Hopefully it doesn't, unless nothing changes, right? So we're here to evolve, right? And so we should probably know what we're evolving into. That would be a good thing to know about. And maybe you can enlighten me a little bit so I can know too, because that which we validate expands. Now now I know. Okay, great. Now everybody knows. Right, that's valid now for more people than just you. Oh, great, let's keep talking about our goals. Let's keep talking about what we want. Why do we do that? Why do I do that? Because because I've seen a little bit further down the path and a few $1 million worth down the path. And I know every person who I've asked this of, and we've got some good, sane people that show up here, right? You don't just wander into entrepreneurship on a whim Okay. Nobody joined this because they were just, bored and we're looking for a hobby, right? You're here with some purpose. Okay. So we've got some purposeful people here. And every person who I've talked to in our welcome sessions and one-on-ones, et cetera, who has set a goal for themselves, who knows what that goal is, and is serious about reaching it, is not just pie in the sky, I'll be a billionaire tomorrow and, just silliness. Okay. There's a difference between unreasonable and irrational. Okay. Unreasonable, good. Irrational, that doesn't serve you. Okay. But every person who is willing to step out of their box a little bit and I would say dream a little, okay, but do it with reality, right? Do it with expectancy. Every single person, not one of them have exceeded what Rachel's been able to do in terms of her goal achievement, not just goal setting, but goal achievement with these same methods that you're engaging in. So what does that mean? That your goals are attainable, right? If you're serious about a goal and you're finding this as an accessible method for you to engage in, I'm here to tell you that those goals are achievable. Yes, they are. Not in the first 15 seconds. Okay. There's a gestation period and you're going to have to scale things up. You're going to have to create some leverage. You're right. It's not just about, you sold 15 coffee cups this weekend. That's nice. Okay. Good start. Okay. But we're going to have to add some zeros and we're going to have to put in some machinery and there's going to be more attention, time, money to invest in creating that empire. Okay. But I'm just here to tell you that empire is very real. We've just got to be, back to the idea of resilience, we've just got to be resilient in the face of whatever stalls or stops or learnings that are necessary because you don't know what you don't know. And thank goodness that you've admitted that you don't know, because the surest way to learn nothing is to think you already know. You get to not know. And now you can look and now you can learn and now you'll know. And then you'll get the result. Okay. But I'm here to tell you that the game is bigger than you may have expected at the outset. Just know that there's as much game here as you're willing to play. You can, and I heard this once from a guy who I didn't take it well when I first heard it because I was looking to make more money and he said something at a lecture that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So maybe I'll rub you the wrong way right now, but that's okay. You're resilient. You'll get over it. He said, you can have as much money as you're willing to be responsible for. Oh, who are you calling me irresponsible? I guess I was calling me irresponsible. I mean, I took that to heart. So you mean, perhaps I've been more interested in ease and comfort than like actually accepting responsibility for growing my enterprises, my income and whatever else. I had to take a look at myself when I heard that. And he was right. He was right. Okay. So I'm here to tell you that as a resilient and goal motivated person, you have full license to expect great things of yourself. Set those goals high, reach, get a bit unreasonable, right? Let's go ahead and let's write that next chapter of our book, but don't expect that you're going to be the same person who, sat in a cubicle for 20 years and just had your agenda handed to you predictably, reliably, and with zero, risk or decision-making or creativity. All right. Because again, if nothing changes, nothing changes. I honor you guys. And so I wanted to start the week with not just a tongue bath and not an admonition either. Okay. But just an acknowledgement that you as on purpose entrepreneurs, people capable of amazing things, because you're capable of being resilient, you're capable of setting goals, and you're capable of keeping your focus fixated on what you want and not just all the little ankle biting stuff that will lead to you getting what you want. It will. Okay. So the fact that you're able to maintain your focus and be entrepreneurs and not just succumb to whatever the corporate agenda is or was, and whatever your so-called lot in life was before you showed up here, and you never haven't hit a goal in 20 years and whatever, all that's behind us now. Let me acknowledge you. If no one else in your environment is, let me be that person. Okay. Because part of you being able to stand up and make big strides is what I kind of started with at the beginning, is knowing that you're not alone with this, and you're not. All right. So I'll keep showing up here every day, and I hope you do as well. And shout out to all of our Aussie and Kiwi friends who might be sleeping right now. I know we've got a couple of them on here live with us because you're just so damn excited you can't sleep. But shout out to all of our friends who catch this on the replay as well. I'm done talking, and I would love to hear from a couple of yous guys who would like to participate. See that, Missy? I threw in a little New Jersey, New York in there. Yous guys. Hey, Scott, you've got the floor. Come on out, buddy.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good to see you, my friend.
Super. Yeah, I have to agree with you 100% on everything you're saying. I mean, it is overwhelming, and these reasons why I'm doing this. I mean, this weekend was about all that. And I was like, well, I think I need to sit down and put this on paper here real quick. So my do's and don'ts, and challenge myself to, thinking a little bit more positively about things. And honestly, I'm having to wipe out some things that I'm realizing that can keep me down and keep me on that bad side of negativity. So I'm like wiping those things out right now, getting rid of them, moving on, realizing that I am going through a change right now, and, this summer I was able to watch these robins, go through their whole process, and to watch what they do in 1 month is amazing. And it's like, if every one of us could do anything what these things do in 1 month. I mean, I watched these two robins have nine babies this whole summer in my front yard and backyard. Get to see all this, and they do it. They raise them from 1 month. They're born and they're raised and gone in 1 month. So if I could be like a robin, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Reality is reality. Reality is reality. One step is at a time. I'll give it up for now, but it's been a great weekend and learning a lot.
Thank you. So glad you're here,
Thank
Scott.
you. I will show up every day too, because you're like bread.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, it's never profited me to fill my mind with all of the troubles of the world that I can't personally have an effect. I can't do anything about that. This doesn't profit me, nor does it expand my own circle of influence, right, into things I can do, right? And you get good at these things like the robins, right? I mean, they're really good at what they do. And now those other robins, their progeny, can go out and find nests and make other stuff happen, right? So it's about expansion or contraction. We just got to be conscious of it. So thank you. Great metaphor, Scott. Of course, we have Michael here. Hey, Michael, what's going on with you, brother?
Hey, well, I kind of combine a few of the elements that we were talking about over last week or so. I was having some challenges with my list of seeing what I really want, make it really clear. So I had to narrow it down and say, okay, well, there's a couple, like 2 or 3 things that I want for sure. Let's start with a vehicle, because I'm having some difficulties and challenges figuring out, where do I want to live? What do I want it to look like? And that whole visualization project. So I narrowed it down, and I had 3 questions for some friends of mine. And I said, I need your help. I would like you to give me your perspective of me. I said, here are the questions. First, what kind of vehicle do you think of my lifestyle that I could be in? What kind of house do you think that would suit me by you knowing me, because they'd know me for a while? And where do you think I'd want to live? So I put those questions out there, and it was really interesting. The feedback I got was very much what I was already thinking. So it did give me a little bit more reassurance that that people see me in the way I'm also seeing myself. So now I have to kind of flip the mirror around and go, okay, now how am I going to move forward? And I've been looking, we're talking about the vehicle, right? Well, my thing is a travel van. I'm thinking that's what I want. And I have 2 people so far say, yep, you would be, that's the vehicle you want and need, kind of thing. And I'm thinking, okay, all right. So not a little tiny smart car or something sporty, but something functional and practical. So I'm thinking, great, now I got to start looking. So as I'm going, shopping and looking around parking lots, I'm like, oh, what kind of van is that? What kind of travel van is that? So I've been getting some ideas out in the world as to the different things I want. And now I'm going to carve some time out to actually get on the internet and look at these different things and see what these features are and all these wonderful things, so I can really nail down the thing that I want. Because like you said, and so many other of our gurus have said, you have to be really clear with your intent. If it's muddled, or in my case, I have so many different things, how can it get to me because it's too confusing? You know, it's like, here's your pile of parts, you know, that kind of thing. Because it's
Right.
just no, there's no definition, and that's what I'm really working on. But I needed to bring it down to bite-sized pieces. Um, and that was the thing. It's like, okay, bring it down to three things, and then go from there, and then narrow it in on each one of them. The other aspect of the 30-day challenge I've been doing, as far as giving to receive, doing more than you expected to do, a lot of that kind of stuff. So that's been in play already. That's been in play for quite some time. This focusing on myself and what I really want as just real. I don't know. I don't know why this has been, let's say, a fear or an area of procrastination. I just don't understand why this would give me any challenge, and yet I'm being challenged by it. So it's very interesting. So I'm really interested to see what the results are going to be.
Well,
And
Michael, if I can offer you just one thing on that, if we
Yeah.
have suppressed that or have had it suppressed in us, then it could be a bit of a process to rehabilitate that ability to get specific and decide on things you want, especially if you've been in a deficit condition. So like sometimes people are like, well, I just want to get out of debt. Well, hold on a second. So getting out of debt would be zero. So your goal is to get to zero. What's after that? Let's say you're a person of integrity. Let's assume you are. So you're going to handle your prior obligations. That's fine. Okay. En route to getting that. Okay. So we handle our prior obligations en route to, the Bentley or, the house, the $5 million investment account. Right. Okay. So it's not, the focus cannot be on just getting out of a negative situation. It's way more inspirational to move toward what we want than out of what we don't want. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Right.
And I think you're right. You brought up a really good point about like my upbringing was, when you see these opulent things, we see these, this is just, it was almost a negative thing. Oh, those people just have money, or, they don't appreciate it, or we're never going to get there. We don't need that kind of stuff. It was that place of poverty, if you will. You know what I mean? And it was never a place of, we could get that one day, or we could do it. It was always, it was almost like financial success was for people who didn't have integrity and were bad.
I get it. It's a common trick. It's a rotten deal to buy. It's a really bad deal. Ralph Emerson said, envy is ignorance, imitation is suicide. If you are looking and comparing your insides to other people's outsides and being critical of them because they have something you don't, well, first of all, you don't know the whole story. And maybe they are unethical people. I don't know. What the hell does that have to do with you? Right? Who knows? Right? So Wallace Wattles, in his classic book, The Science of Getting Rich, and I'm going to go to Annette and Mark. But he said, celebrate that man's success. I wish for him even greater abundance, right? The worst thing in the world is to get there being critical and envious and all. Just, you want to have money, take flight and fly away. There it is. Envy, comparisons, all this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Love you, brother. Glad you're here.
Thanks.
Let's get Annette and then Mark out here. Hey, Annette, you've got the floor, my friend.
Hi. I woke up this morning. I've had a sprained foot and I can't even walk unless I take my medication. So this is also very motivating because so much of what we do, so much work or paid work is so physical. And if we lose that ability to just, work physically, then wow, and I'm being reminded of that right now, that it's like, wow. So today it's just telling me and forcing me to work on what we're doing here because, wow, that's very important to realize that it's just not an option for a lot of us. So there's a few older people here too, to keep going the way we were. We realize how your body breaks down, and I'm a musician and primarily, and that's a lot of physical work. So to be able to do that like I used to. Anyway, I also am intuitive, and I decided I had to use my intuition to get a sense of what's coming or where I'm headed. So the intuition that I got, and I know it wasn't just for me because I didn't ask about just me. I said, well, where, give me a good image of where this is heading. And what I saw was myself on a train, on some tracks, focus, and it came in about focus. I'm on the right tracks now, and it was showing me all these what do you call those grooves or ruts that you get stuck in, and there were some big ruts that I was pulling out over this train was, and then got on this track, and this train that I'm on is going over, it's going past big things, big cities, and then big valleys and all these things, but it doesn't matter because this train is solid and on track. Now I noticed I'm not driving the train. You're supposed to be aware of that in a dream. However, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not alone in doing everything myself. I am alone in that train, but it's connected to, as I often feel here, we're not all together. But it wasn't an image just for me. So I hope that's helpful to other people too, that we're all on this, focused on this train together.
Okay. You get into like dream interpretations and stuff?
No, I find I'm not very good with that. But what I can
I don't think
do
anybody
is,
is. Yeah, I think it's a
No.
bunch of gobbledygook. I don't know.
no, it's just, I will ask for it though, when I will get a intuition, and that is, and you just know it, that it feels right. Like that does feel right about the train track and
Yeah.
being on track.
Well, yeah. I mean, anything we can use to stack the deck in our favor, I think that's brilliant. And that, so it's like, because of the dream, as long as it serves you, all right, I'll take that. But if it doesn't serve me, well, no, that's not quite valid. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So run on the train. Here we are, all aboard, everyone. Yeah. What do you think, Mark? Let's get Mark out here. What's up? What's going on, Mark?
Hi there. I'm just going on with the theme of self-resilience. And it's more of a self-awareness thing here, that I have had many stalls and stops, and I almost went into hiding at times, because I know a lot, but sometimes I hide and I don't really put myself out there. I just go on my laurels because I did pretty well in my business, and I did pretty well. I kind of semi-retired, and then my wife and I this weekend, we pulled out some of our books that we were working on years ago, and it's amazing. Again, it's what I know, but what I'm not implementing. So resilience to me is so relevant, because I'm still here, and it's so important, because I'm like many. I went into hiding. I hid. I was on Facebook. I did YouTube. I did YouTube. I had a YouTube channel, and I just quit. And finding this low hanging system really said, okay, I can do this. Now I'm bringing my other businesses back. That is making me more resilient and being more out there, which I have not been. So it's kind of cool. And I'll be more on these calls because I've been hiding from these calls. And so now it's time. So the resilience is timely. Very timely.
Yeah. So glad you're here, Mark. I hope you weren't hiding from me. I don't bite too hard.
No.
Yeah.
It's just me putting myself out there.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I was being lighthearted about it. Actually, sometimes people are like, that guy, John Lavinia, intimidates me, man. He's like this Godzilla guy. He screams and yells. Yeah. So, but it's all with love. It's all with love. Sometimes I offer a spiritual beating, because people deserve it. But I've had those ups and downs as well. And Mark, at some point we're going to have a little time to discuss some of this stuff, but millions of dollars made and lost. And some people say the first million's the hardest. No, BS. Pick yourself up after losing it and do it again. Yeah, now we'll talk about what's hard. So I hear you with resilience, my friend. Glad you're here. Yeah, this is just the beginning. All right. I don't see any other hands up. Any burning desires before we wrap up? Sharna. Hey, Sharna, come on out, my friend.
I just wanted to say something positive and being resilient. I used to be a lactation educator for many years. And I used to tell my moms, you know what, when it gets too difficult, I need you to take it one day at a time. And if that's too much for you, that's okay. Then I want you to take it 1 hour at a time. And if that's too much, then let's just take it minute by minute.
Mm.
It's okay. You're not gonna fail. Let's just take a deep breath and it's going to be okay.
Mm. Wow. Thank you. In
You're
fact, my wife Shannon had required counsel in that way when we had our daughter. And there was an expert that came and tightened her right up. Like it worked. So there was a lot of pain and whatever. And then after the instruction, it was like rock and roll. So
well, you know,
thank
we also tell our moms that, guess what? If your car needed work, you would go hire a mechanic, right? Or if you had problem with your plumbing, you would go get help, right? But for some reason, a lot of mommies have it in their head that they've heard from somebody else, oh, this is natural, this is easy, it's supposed to be easy. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way for everyone. It's like, trust and believe. I have 3 kids, nurse, first 2, no problems. Guess what? The third one was the problem.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it's like you just have to take it one day at a time. And I'm gonna do the same thing with this. And I'm gonna share real quick. I'm spiritual, and so I lost my job last year. I told you, but I was able to save quite a bit of money. But guess what? For a minute, I was still panicking, and I heard it just as clear as day. God tell me, how can I trust you with millions? And this was before I even found this program. How can I trust you with millions if you're still panicking over thousands that I've already made a way for your bills to be paid, but you're still panicking? And the light came on, and I thought about it, I'm like, wait, why am I still panicking? I didn't have anything. He made the way. I have money in the bank to pay my bills. I told you I bought a brand new car. My cousin and my friend tell me all the time, I don't know anybody that buys a brand new car without having a job. And I guess I took it for granted. And then I had to say, oh, you know what? You're right. I mean, I did look at his God and I appreciate it, but then I had to stop and think, because they kept saying to me, no, nobody just does that, but you did. And I had to say, you know what? Like I said, is before I found this program, I said, thank you, Lord. I'm going to receive it. I'm going to believe it, that I am going to have millions. That's why on my goal sheet, I wouldn't put a certain number amount, because I said, I don't want it to be lower than what God has in store for me. I want to exceed well over whatever I'm thinking in mind. And I know each and every one of us can do it. When we get discouraged and bummed out, we just need to take a deep breath, sit back and say, you know what? Just minute by minute. And if that's too much, hey, tomorrow's a new day to start all over again.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you, Sharna. I knew I liked you. Got that new car. That's unreasonable. Thank you for being unreasonable. Very nice. Very good. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up with that. I will look forward to seeing you all.
Hold on a minute. Not yet. Now you already know.
Whoa, Johnny. What's up, Johnny?
Y'all already know y'all can't call without seeing my face, my pretty face. Hey, I just wanted to give you an update. I'm on my I just finished my video 8. I just sent in my request to get that additional help. And I just want to thank you and good luck to everybody. I just wanted to let you know that I just followed through on what we was talking about last night.
I'm glad you did, Johnny. Very good. Looking forward to hearing a lot more from you.
Oh,
Drive
you
safe.
will. You will. I will, man. Thanks, everybody. Good luck today.
All right. See you soon. Guys, we'll be back here tomorrow. Enjoy your day. And let's go make it happen. I'll see you all again real soon. Bye for now.